How many times have you eaten perfectly all week and then blown it on Friday night and then spent the next week beating yourself up about it and then told yourself, I'll just start fresh on Monday? Here's what everybody is telling you. That cycle has nothing to do with willpower and it has nothing to do with the food. In this video, I'm going to show you what is exactly driving it and the exact mindset shift that makes it stop for good. If you've ever described yourself as someone who is great during the week but can't hold it together on the weekends, or someone who does really well and then just sabotages herself, I want you to hear this. You are not someone who just lacks discipline. What's happening is actually really clever. Your brain found a strategy that works. Food or alcohol or whatever it is for you, it is one of the fastest ways to turn down the volume of stress, loneliness, boredom, or pain. It's not the problem, it's the solution your brain has found. And understanding that changes everything. So let's look at where it starts. I want you to think back. When did your relationship with food get complicated? For some of you, it was a stressful season of life, a breakup, a difficult period at work, grief, something that was just unbearable to sit in. And food or wine gave you a moment of relief. And for a lot of you, it started way earlier than that. And maybe it's come from your parents. For me, it was growing up in a household where dieting was normal. My mum constantly restricting, doing isogenic shakes, cutting carbs. I started doing the same from a young age. I took weight loss tablets, heard don't eat that, you'll get fat. And this is what shaped my relationship with food from a young age that I took into adult life. I grew up watching that and adopting the same habits and behaviors without even realizing it. The same patterns, the same language, the same cycle. Those habits you have made sense once. They helped you cope. They're just an old strategy that doesn't fit your life anymore. And here's the question I want you to sit with. Where did yours start? Once you can see the root of it, you can start to change it. But only if you drop the shame first. This is the one that no one likes talking about. Most people think if they harden up on themselves, they'll finally get it together. And has that really ever worked? Like actually work long term? Because what's actually happening is this. You have an off-plan moment, then you beat yourself up. The shame makes you feel terrible. So you end up eating more and then you feel worse. And then you decide to start fresh on Monday again. The shame is the cycle, not the food. And here's the thing, when you brush those moments under a rug and just start fresh tomorrow without actually looking at what happened and why, you're guaranteeing it happens again because you haven't gotten curious with yourself. You've just reset. And what I want you to do instead is get curious, not self-critical, curious. Why did that happen? What was I actually feeling in the moment? What was I really looking for? That's where the real work is. And that curiosity leads to something most women in this space completely skip over. I know what you're thinking. Katie, if I'm kind to myself, I'll just give myself permission to eat whatever I want. And that's not what I'm saying. True kindness is choosing the short-term discomfort because you know what you actually want. It's not instant relief. It's choosing the thing that future you will be glad you did. Here's the question I ask myself in those moments, and I want you to try this. Would I make this choice for someone I love? Your kids, your partner, your best friend. If they were struggling and you were in their bodies, would you make the same choice for them? If the answer is no, it's not a kind choice for you either. I used to be an all or nothing person with food. Couldn't have chocolate in the house without eating the whole block. Now I have it in the cupboard and I don't even think about it because I've done the repetitions, built new pathways. It didn't happen overnight. It took consistent practice when things were calm. So then the new response could show when things got hard. Every time you choose the harder option, every single time you are casting a vote for who you're becoming. Enough votes and the identity follows. And that brings me to the thing most diets completely miss. I want you to think about what you say to yourself after you eat something off plan. Most women who come into our program at the beginning say something like, I've already blown it, I may as well keep going, or I knew I couldn't do this, or the classic, I'll start again Monday. And that conversation right there, that's what determines the next 20 meals, not the off-plan moment itself, but what you say to yourself after it. So here's what I want you to do instead. Next time you have a lapse, stop and ask, would I do this to someone I love? Is this true? Is it useful? Is it getting me closer to where I want to be? If the answer is no, you don't get to keep saying it. The point isn't that you can't have the chocolate. The point is, what were you really looking for in that moment? And would you have made the same choice if you stopped to ask? Like, are you stressed? Maybe a better option is to go outside and pause to breathe for a minute. Are you emotional? Do you need a hug? Talk to someone. We need to stop using food as a comfort to suppress the feeling. Otherwise, we'll always keep repeating the same behaviors that don't serve your ultimate goal. Here's the difference between someone who keeps losing and regaining the same weight and someone who just keeps the weight off. It's not the meal plan, it's not the calories, and it's not even the training. It's how they see themselves, the story they tell themselves every day. Behavior level thinking sounds like, I'm trying to lose weight and eat better. Identity level thinking sounds like, I'm someone who looks after herself. And that's not a small difference, that's everything. Because your brain will only show you options that are consistent with who you believe you are. If you don't see yourself as someone who can do this for life, it will unconsciously block you from finding the path there. So the question is not, what do I need to do today? The question is, what would someone who already has this do right now? How would she handle this afternoon? What would she choose for lunch? When she's stressed and overwhelmed, what does she do instead of reaching for food? You don't need to feel like her before you act like her. We act first, then the identity forms in the doing. Motivation is a product of momentum, not its cause. Michelle's was 20 kilos in our program, and now she's reverse dieting out. She's eating more food than she ever has. However, she's still eating basically the same meals. We've just increased her volume. And now her daughter has lost 14 kilos just from watching what the Michelle's changes in the house have been. Different foods in the pantry, different behavior model. This is what identity change looks like. It ripples into all areas of your life. So what do you actually do with all of this? I want to give you 3 simple things that you can start doing right now. Number 1, write down your why. Before motivation fades, and it will, capture why this matters to you right now. Not a list of goals, a letter to yourself. And finish these 3 sentences. I've decided to try this because not making changes is negatively impacting my life by this time next year, I want to. Now keep that. Come back to it when things get hard because they always will. Number 2, I want you to do a morning check-in, 1 to 2 minutes every morning, right after a fixed habit, like after your shower, while you're having your coffee. And I want you to ask yourself, what might make today difficult to stay on track? When am I most at risk? Not to stress yourself out, but to pre-frame your mind so when the moment comes, you're already decided how you're going to respond. Number 3, practice the pause. When you feel the urge to reach for food, you're not actually hungry. So just stop, breathe, ask, what does my body actually need from me right now? Maybe it's a walk, maybe it's 5 minutes outside, getting some sunlight, maybe it's writing down what's stressing you out. You're practicing a new response, and we need to practice it over and over until it's just who you are now. This is where it starts to run on autopilot in the background. And look, this doesn't happen in a week. I know women who have lost over 20 kilos and are still not happy, still picking themselves apart, still fighting the same inner battles, because losing weight doesn't fix the voice in your head. This type of work, the mindset work, the identity shift, changing how you talk to yourself, that's what makes this a forever change. Not just the meal plan and not just the calories, but this. My own mindset has been a work in progress for years. It didn't happen in 6 months, but I can tell you, I don't fight with food anymore. I don't use it to cope. I don't have that constant mental battle running in the background. And I want that for you too, because it is possible. It's just usually a little bit uncomfortable to sit with the feelings. Now, if this landed for you today, start with the letter, write it tonight. And if you want support actually doing this work, the nutrition side and the mindset side together, watch this video here on how we combine the both together in our program to make this a forever change. This is exactly what we do, not just giving you macros and a meal plan, actually fixing the root cause so the results stick. And if you're not ready for that, that's totally fine. Come back and watch this video again when motivation dips. Take notes. Seriously, write this stuff down because you're not going to hear it once and have it change. It takes repetition. Just like building the weight up in the gym. You don't get in there in one session, but you do get there.